All right, we are here at Arrowhead for the second round of the Eastern State Cup Enduro. If you remember the last video, I'm doing the E-Enduro category because it's something that has interested me. So I did a bike check and a lot of people would notice that I had my rotor on backwards. That's not something I've ever installed backwards, but here we are. There's a first time for everything. So I flipped that around. That's in the normal way. And then I also mentioned in the video that I had to do some weird configuring with some adapters to get it to mount this bike. Well, I've since got I kind of got the correct adapter. I ordered the correct size adapter, but again, it was running into the issue where it was bottoming out on the adapter. So I had to do a little kind of DIY dremeling to get rid of some of the material, but it fits, it works, correct size now. So we got that all squared away. It has been raining a ton all day, but right now it is drizzling. So I'm gonna make use of this kind of pause in the rain to go ride the courses. How's it going, man?
Thank you.
Not too bad. Ooh, that's a lot of water. So, I should mention this video is sponsored by RimSaver, and we'll talk more about them later. But for now, let's go to stage 1. There it is. All right. Time to get loose. All right, we got a stick. That's deep in spots, yeah. Okay, there is a very big compression right there. Just got a casual river going down the trail. Oh, this way. Oh. Okay, there's a sneaky sniper line that I missed. Oh. Gonna want to try to stay high there. That stage I could benefit from doing again. I usually only do one lap of every trail. I try to keep it within the spirit of Enduro, which is one lap of everything. All right, this is a note to future fill to trim your bars. They're too wide. Some line options here.
Done.
Trying to figure out where the exit is.
Well, there's a drop right there.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to see like which.
That big berm. So this is the fastest line coming off of this little drop into the bigger drop.
Yeah, I was. I need to see where I'm trying to get to. That will tell me which line I need to be in.
Yeah, there's a big berm at the bottom there.
Cool, I like that. Have fun out there.
All right, you too.
Oh. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I did everything except that middle roll.
Is that middle roll?
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's tricky.
But I've never done it, so the fact that I'm trying to do it in these conditions is like, so I've done the thread the needle move before.
Is that Rob leftover?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Where am I going?
Seems to be a good line.
Go, 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 go.
Did they leave it open? They did. Okay. Note to self. If I can find a better line for that turn, that'd be ideal. Whew, stage 5 is a slog.
Yeah, stage 5 is nice.
Pedaling.
Yeah.
Well, at the beginning of it, and then follow that up with the middle section. It's like, whew.
Yeah.
But the end's fun.
You guys have fun.
Me too.
Alright, I just got done doing all my laps, and to be honest, I do not want to go back out and do more. There's probably some things I can learn if I do a few more. Stage 4 had a lot of off cameras. I felt like if I had slowed up and jumped into those lines earlier, I would have been a lot better than how I rode it. We got a stranger over here.
I'm here back to water. For water. I like stage 2. I like dirt surfing.
Like, I did all the stages. I'm pretty content with everything. I don't really want to get any more wet. If I were to do 2 trails again, it would be 2 and 4. Alright, well, practice was fun, but now I need to talk to you about today's sponsor, which is RimSaver. RimSaver kind of looks like this when it's installed. It's a bottom-out bumper for your rim. And so when you hit a big impact and you blow through all your travel, this protects your rim from breaking. So it's super easy to install. It's got this like kind of snapping mechanism, and it's actually really satisfying. So, oh yeah, that's satisfying. Now the cool thing about RimSaver is since it doesn't affect your tire throughout its travel, it doesn't give you this weird feeling. Sometimes when you're running a foam insert, when you get halfway through your travel and you start feeling the foam insert, it gives your tire a different feel. But let's say you do get flat, it happens. You can go ahead and remove the valve and run a tube. RimSaver comes in 3 different flavors. You got your heavyweight for downhill and e-bikes, your midweight for trail and enduro, and then you got your lightweight for gravel and cross country. I personally have been running trail on most of my bikes, but on my competition bike, I've been running the downhill or the heavyweight versions. So you can pick it up now using the on-screen QR code or use the links in the description below. Ride harder, worry less. That message from our sponsor out of the way, let's get to racing. All right, good morning. It's Sunday, race day, and good news. Sun's out, no rain. We should have a good day on our hands. But the rain from yesterday means mud's gonna be dragged onto the rocks and there's no water to wash it off, so that might actually make it more slippery. It's counterintuitive, but that's kind of how it works sometimes. Anyway, I need to get my chip and head over to the start.
Back, Phil.
Yo! How you doing, man?
Good, you?
Warning. Interception.
Running thin today? What? We got 40, 5 minutes.
Thank you. Lights up on that box right there. Good luck, have fun. Good morning.
How many people are,
In this class?
yeah.
Well, I see 4 of you so far.
Did they tell you how many are racing?
Didn't see a whole lot yesterday.
No. No, we rode, me and my buddy rode a lot on Friday, and there's a, like, I mean, it's hard to tell because so many people just ride here Friday with an e-bike. And like, it seemed like everybody was on an e-bike Friday.
Oh yeah, doing one of those.
Yeah.
All right, so we just chipped in. Good news, today we do not have an uphill stage. They decided that because of the motor situation last week, it was just too unfair. So they're just running the downhill stages, so typical enduro style. But anyway, we're gonna make our way up to stage 1. All right, looks like we have about 7 to 8 people in the class today, so a little bit smaller than last time, I think. But maybe there are some people that weren't at the start tent. All right, so I didn't do a warm-up today because we didn't have a huge climb. So this first stage will be the warm-up. This is a slow pedal over, kind of helps a little bit. Oh yeah, this is definitely greasy right here. So on this first stage, it might be smart just to ease into it. Once you like get into race mode, it's really hard to go easy. Like your monkey brain just turns on. It's like, I gotta go fast, I gotta go fast.
I don't think I'm gonna get a cloud.
Dude, I don't think I'm gonna get a cloud. I was so stoked as I was driving down here and all I could see were clouds. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
The second we started.
Yeah.
It was nice now.
Really good. All right, Rob.
I'm gonna drive it after you.
Have fun.
Right on, man, too.
All right, stage 1. See how this goes. Woohoo! Yeah, it's actually harder to ride this today.
Not only is it my first run here, but it's the first time I ride in the mud.
How you doing? I see a smile.
Yeah, no injuries. Wow. I'm done for the day.
It's harder today than it was yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, because like the rain washes off the mud.
Right, now it's just...
Now it's just mud getting everywhere. Anyway, I'm gonna make my way back up. Have a good one. Okay, that's harder.
A little slimy.
I found that to be way harder.
I appreciated the water yesterday, really.
I was just gonna try to buzz you and you.
I totally knew you were back there.
Cool. It's more slippery today. I don't know if that means it's harder, it's just more slippery. Good luck, Haley, and everyone else. Okay, stage 1 went pretty well. No huge mistakes or anything, so I was happy with that. It definitely is a little bit more slippery today. But right now we're gonna drop into stage 2, and I remember stage 2 I found to be one of the more trickier ones. There's a few like off-camber turns that just had a hard time linking up, so I don't think there's any good lines around them, so we're just gonna deal with it and have a fun ride. All right, Rob,
See the bottom?
have fun out there. Stay outside. Whew. Squat. Okay. What's up? What's up, dude? Okay, that stage went well. Happy with how I took my lines and everything. No huge mistakes. Little loosey-goosey here and there, but everything that I wanted to do, I did. Hit some new lines I didn't practice. So, Rob, how'd it go for you?
It was good.
Good?
Stay on the trail.
The trail got a lot wider.
It did.
The trail was like twice as wide today.
I found there was more catch berms this time though.
There were more catch berms.
Yesterday when I hit that, it was more blown out with less rut berms in the corners. That was kind of nice.
Yeah, I was actually able to hit most of the high lines
Oh, were you? Nice.
that I wanted to. What's up, guys? Thank you, you too. All right, getting ready to drop into the third stage, which is Chubbs. This one's the one that has like the really steep slabs. Normally it's like not like super hard to ride, but because of the wetness and speed you could theoretically come into it at, like it's a little bit scary. Sorry, I'm cutting off the lens right here. But I had some pretty good lines yesterday. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take them today. So fingers crossed, but either way, we'll have fun. Okay, let's not get too close to this chip thingy. Nailed that. This was slippery yesterday. Not too bad today. Oh, but this is bad. Not making that today. Oh. Oh my God, we had some close calls. We had some really close calls there. There was just a few sections I just didn't recognize where it was. I made some really bad line choices. So, oh, good God. Kept it upright, but barely.
That was terrifying. That was slipperier than the last stage.
Yeah,
In a bad way.
Oh, yesterday I was able to, like, on the last slab, cross over and get the inside.
Yeah.
I didn't even bother trying it today. Hey.
Which one you're going to 4?
Yeah.
Cool. How is?
3 was...
Yeah, we're all a little scared too, so let's not talk about it.
Okay. Guilty. I had some, I took some scenic routes, not by choice. It evened out with the good lines I took, so.
Right.
2 is actually not, 2 is not bad.
No, 2 is not.
And like I found that the spots that like there's more line options in the
ruts are better in the fresh
Catch
cut.
ruts are better.
yeah.
That's what I was kind of thinking was that they're with the fresh cut, at least the ruts will get better when they're not wet. But
And I was able to hit the inside line that I looked at.
you looked at?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Haley, have fun.
Good luck. I feel it's so funny. I forget that every young kid knows exactly who you are. And so you get to have a conversation on everywhere you
Dude. I literally can't zone out.
No, I know you can't. Because then you seem like a dick. Oh, fuck, that feel good. Dick.
Okay, we're about to drop into stage 4. 4 had some of the most awkward off-camber turns of the race, if I remember correctly. So we're going to try to get those lines, but if not, we're just gonna go with whatever line we end up in. Were you doing the shoot yesterday?
No. I've done it in the dry for racing, but I had zero desire yesterday, so I was like, that's not it.
The shoot is fine, the berm.
Afterwards, not so fun.
Well, I didn't like realize it was gonna be such a hard cut.
Yeah. Didn't used to be, because it used to just send you down that
The fire road, right?
old fire road
Yeah.
right there. But now they have you cut back on yourself, which is smart because it slows you down for that and everything. Because it used to be going way too fast.
Yeah.
Like way too fast. I think people have died on that. So like, it's smart they did it though, but it's hard though because you do the shoot and it shoots you so fast at the bottom that G-out just kind of slingshots you to that corner.
You know what the hardest part about this trail is? The grass section.
Yeah, no. Awful. Awful. Yesterday I was like, why am I'm so slow right here?
All right.
All right, man. See you at the bottom.
Have fun out there. Okay, this first turn is off camber as hell, so foot out, fun out. Let's do this. Oh. Okay. All right. Had that one big line choice mess up at the top, but that was good. That was good. I am very pleased with how I rode that otherwise. You have a smile on your face, but you have a big mud spot on your butt.
Did you keep it upright?
I did. I almost did it. On the rock roll, I went too far inside, and my front wheel got sucked in the hole by the big tree.
Yeah.
And I literally caught myself on the tree with my left hand in the air like this. And I was like...
Hi, back to the top. Hi.
I wish I could, you know, there's no rules against you having a bungee cord.
There is not, but I think that kind of be some people that would frown upon that.
Honestly, I believe
What are you doing on the exit of these routes right here?
Right here.
Like, exit is like right
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think I just prayed that I can hold it inside. I also have the liberty of taking a foot out a little bit more easily. Take a look.
I always try to go out inside, but then like right where that root is.
Yeah, I think I went inside. I don't think those routes are going to make or break your race. Okay, final stage, stage 5. This one's pedally, and it is by far everyone's favorite. Either way, it'll be nice because like it'll be less death-defying, but it'll be more huffing and puffing. So I'll be glad to be done with it. There are a few lines, but I don't think that will matter. I will be curious to see how, on average, e-bikes do compared to the regular class on this particular stage. All the other stages, I think, will be at a disadvantage, but this one we might. What do you race in boost?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't. I do too. I wasn't sure if like you had
This time.
more.
The race tune on that? Like, did you change all
No.
the to jack it up?
No,
It helps.
it helps a lot.
Yeah. I never rode it in boost until I started trying to race it, and then I started riding boost everywhere.
I did. So I finally updated one of my forces,
Yeah.
and then I went to go update the other one, and during the update, the connection cut out, and it bricked the computer.
Oh no.
So now like I have PTSD of like updating it.
I think you can do it on your phone with that. Basically, you just jack up the overrun,
Yep.
and then there's another setting too. I think it's how fast the assist kicks in.
Yeah.
So it's not like a reboot. Like I'm pretty sure you can just do it.
Okay, cool. Make sure I'm blinking. I am blinking. Got enough battery. Boost mode. Have fun out there.
Oh yeah, let's see the ball.
Okay. Okay, so glad to be done with that stage. And we're officially done too. I definitely did better, so that was good. Happy with how the whole race went. That was rough. How'd it go?
Good. Stay down the way. Stay on the trail-ish.
Oh man, okay. I just got done turning in my timing chip. So now I can get out of my stinky gear. Haley is probably going to be out there for like another 2 hours. So I'm going to get dressed and try to catch some of her runs. I think she's struggling today. All right, well, as you can see, I have changed. I have since gone out of my riding gear. So today was a fun day. It was fun to get loose and push myself. There were some stages that I had the fastest time of the day in all the categories, which is cool. And some of those stages were not pedaling. So do compare my times to like the non-e-bike times, but I feel like it's hard to compare, especially on the pedaling stages. On the non-pedal stages, e-bikes don't really help, but it's still not one for one. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I had fun. I got loose. There were some off-piste adventures here and there, but we mostly kept it on 2 wheels, maybe a little bit of tripoding action, but you know, that's always fun for videos. So yeah, Haley is smiling, so that's good. She is in good spirit. I don't know how much she wants to ride this place in the wet, especially race it in the wet again, but either way, it was an adventure. And with that out of the way, I do want to thank today's sponsor. RimSaver is a bumper for your rims, so if you hit a rock really hard, you won't break it. It will do its job. It will save your rim. And if you want to pick up any of my merch, we got the Mischief t-shirts and sweatshirts. We got the Descender shirt. All that stuff will also be in the shelf below this video. Any support goes a long way, and I appreciate it. I don't know where we're riding next, but we'll find out together, and I'll see you there. Peace.